233 days ago, we left our home port of Ludington, Michigan, and set out to complete America's Great Loop. We have experienced incredible highs and incredible lows during our 33 weeks away from home. I am not the same person who cast the lines that day. There is no way I could be. We have lived minimally on board Andromeda and let the experience of living take a front seat to day-to-day monotony and the busyness of modern life. The sounds of the sea and the life around us became our entertainment. The weather and Mother Nature planned our days for us. Now we find ourselves 8 hours from completing our Great Loop adventure and crossing our wake. As the waves and wind carry us home, we will reflect on who we were, who we have become, and what lies ahead for us. We have traveled over 5,000 miles by water on this incredible journey that now feels like a dream. This morning, we find ourselves 80 short miles from home. Well, good morning. We are in Frankfort, Michigan, and getting things prepared to...
We're not in Frankfort. We're in Leland.
I said. Well, good morning. We are in Leland, Michigan, and we are about to make our last leg of our Great Loop and head to our home port of Ludington. I think we both have mixed emotions. There's been some somber, some quiet times, and some excitement to see everybody and get home, and just some reflection on what we've done, and it's just kind of undescribable. We're gonna start these engines here in a minute after starting them like 80 or 90 times throughout this trip. And we're going to make the 80 or so mile run to Ludington. And the wind's looking okay. The waves are looking okay to run down Lake Michigan this morning, but we feel them building up a little bit, so we're going to kind of get started here. But just a kind of incredible feeling right now. What are you feeling?
Honestly, kind of a little numb. Like, I think I'm just trying to keep busy so I don't think about it, honestly.
That's kind of how I feel too. Like, it's just sort of moving around on autopilot. Like, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we're still in the rhythm of going, and it's
like,
going to stop.
Tomorrow morning we wake up and we don't care what the wind and the weather's doing, and we don't have a spot to go, and
no more Dakwa or looking at the waterway guide to find shelter.
It just seems surreal. We think about the rivers and Dreamer, and we think about Alabama and the Bahamas, and it's like it's all just a flash now. We're 80 miles from home, and that's it. So,
but what's cool is these videos.
It is fun to edit these videos and look back where we've been and
go
through the memories together with everyone. So we're about to fire up the engines for the last time on our loop. We're already talking about what other adventures we want to take Andromeda on, but as far as our great loop, and today this is the final leg, and we're about to get her warmed up and get moving.
Yep.
were told by our engine guy, our good friend at this lot back home, that on a final stretch here, he wanted us to bring the engines up to 2200 RPM for a half hour. Just read the numbers, specifically the coolant temp. So we've been doing that, and everything's good other than I hate this particular fuel burn. It's crazy. But I am noticing that the port and starboard RPM won't sync at this speed. So I don't know if there's something wrong or if it's just that's just where they max out. But I have sent the data to Ed, and we're going to back her down here a little bit to a more reasonable speed. It's fun to go this fast for sure, but just a little test Ed asked us to do, and something we thought we'd do early here while the seas are still flat. We're about 1 hour out of Leland and about 3 hours till we cross our way.
Hard to believe.
It's hard to believe. One of the main reasons we've been zipping around, well, for the last half of our trip, if not more, but the last few days we were targeting these 2 days on Lake Michigan. These are our 2 travel days on Lake Michigan, and we were watching the forecast really close. And we got really lucky. Yesterday was a magical day on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, she kept saying it felt like we were floating. Well, we were floating. We're in a boat, but it seemed like we were gliding across the air. It was so smooth. Today is really nice as far as Lake Michigan goes. The winds are picking up, and we have 2 points to get around. We're going to go around Betsy Point, and then we're going to set it on our home water, Big Sable Point. And usually as you break around those points, the wave conditions can change a little, but so far this morning it's just been really nice.
Yeah.
Well, we have just rounded Point Betsy, past the Point Betsy Lighthouse, coming up on the entrance to Frankfurt Channel. And we made our second to last course correction on the autopilot for our great loop. So our bow is now pointed at Big Point Sable, just north of Ludington. That's one of our favorite fishing spots, some of the best salmon fishing around. And that is also where Kathy and I like to take the Andromeda out, drop the hook, and take the dinghy to shore. So we're on the home stretch here, I guess you can say. We're about probably 2 hours at this pace from Big Point Sable, but we're in our home waters, so here we go.
Here we go.
Off to our port is the inlet to Portage Lake and Portage Point Inn in the town of Onekama, where 27 years ago we got married.
Aww. What a sweet boy.
What a nostalgic spot to pass by on our way home.
Oh. Love you.
Just in the last 15 minutes or so, the waves have picked up kind of as predicted. We knew the winds would build. I still think it's like a 10 to 15 knot wind, but it's starting to create some white caps and real short periods. So again, we have that sort of dirt road feeling where it's not terrible, it's not slamming us around, but it's bump, 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 bump. And I think we're gonna fight that pretty much all the way to Big Point Sable. I'm hoping as we turn a little bit around the point and head towards Ludington breakwater that maybe they'll subside a little bit, but I think we got about an hour of bumpy waves ahead of us. Well, I guess couldn't be all warm fuzzies today. Drama right up to the last minute. Lake Michigan just turned into a beast here in the last 20 minutes or so. And the wave forecast says below 2 feet, but some of these we took were 4-footers easily. And it's just how Lake Michigan can be. But we're coming up to the point, and all of a sudden starboard engine is not cooperating. She's still under power and still pushing us home, but the port engine will get up to 1,700 RPMs and the starboard engine only gets up to 1,300. So we switched over our ray cores. I don't know if it's not getting enough fuel or if we got a bag or something wrapped around the prop, but we're just going to keep pushing her home. We're able to do about 14 knots now, which is kind of okay in these waves. We're hoping to get around this Big Point Sable and maybe calms down a bit, but right to the last minute. We are 30 minutes from Big Point Sables. Right up ahead of us, we can see the big lighthouse. And we are officially 1 hour from home. And the waves are, I wouldn't say subsiding, but they're not as dramatic as they were a few minutes ago. We just got to get around this point. Sometimes you get lucky, you get around the point and the waves change. If nothing else, we can maybe ride the shoreline in. And still dealing with this starboard engine thing, of course, right at the last minute. I feel like it's a fuel blockage. I don't know if we kicked something up off the bottom of the tank, bouncing around or what, but she's making good, she's making way. We are pulling about 16 knots, which helps us cut through these waves and not bounce up and down enough. I can't get down in the engine room if I shut her down right now. If we just roll and rock around and I tumble around in there. So we're just doing the old finger cross, pointer at home, and we'll sort it out when we get tied up. Coming up to the Big Point Sable Lighthouse, sort of a benchmark for us. As we round that point, we'll be able to see the Ludington Lighthouse and our home port. This beach here off to our port side is where Kathy and I like to go anchor and take the dinghy. Ludington State Park is just thousands of acres or hundreds and hundreds of acres of wide open beach. So usually we come up here and have the place to ourselves. So it's a cool place. We used to come here and anchor and pretend we were in the Bahamas, because certain times of year Lake Michigan turns a special blue color. So here we go, about to round the point. Final stretch, kind of crazy. We are about 10 minutes from the pier head. We're passing along the State Park Beach, called the first curve here, and about to come up on the city beach in Epworth, and we can see the old Ludington Lighthouse is right off our bow. I've come this route a million times fishing. It's always so nice to put the bow at home and point her home, and it's just so hard to describe what we're feeling right now.
Yeah.
But about 10 minutes, Lake Michigan is not making us pay, but it could be nicer. But we're bouncing our way back to the pier heads, and we'll make the turn into the harbor here in about 10 minutes. Just crazy.
She did calm down after Point Sable.
Yes.
Predicted or was hoping.
Yeah, we got around the point. It's much calmer, but there's still a little energy in the lake today for sure.
Yeah, we're not floating.
We're not floating on air like yesterday.
Here we go.
Unreal.
We did it.
for us. Yes, that's for us.
Super Loopers!
Go, baby, go! Ludington Municipal, Andromeda 16.
Ludington, with Michigan, channel 08, copy 08.
08, copy.
What can we do for you?
Yeah, hi, we are pulling in. We're in slip A7. With the wind, we could use a couple hands on the dock.
You got it. We'll be there to help you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down here.
Gather here today to give you this view. Congratulations.
Hey, no more Looper Midnights.
Yeah.
Those go away eventually.
Right. That's why.
did it.
All right.
That is huge.
Huge.
Thank you everyone for coming down here. Thank you, Laura. We know you're texting everybody. appreciate it very much. Thank you.